One peanut. That's my instructions. I am babysitting my sons and my daughter-in-law's two pets. This African Gray Parrot named Peepers and a black cat named KeeKee. So they are, the two pets are at my son's house. My son and his wife and my grandson are in New York City right now, which I'm just loving watching the photos that they post. But while they're away, I'm taking care of their two animals, Peepers and KeeKee. Now when KeeKee, the cat, sees me, runs away. So I don't get to interact with KeeKee. I put food in the bowl. When I come back the next day, food is gone, so I know the food is getting eaten. And Peepers, my strict instructions are to only give him one peanut and then to fill his bowl with the regular food, but one peanut. So it is so cool because I've never interacted with a parrot before. So I open up the cage door and I have the peanut in my hand, and Peepers sees the peanut. He knows what's coming. And he comes over and he really gently comes over with his beak and his little paw, little foot, whatever, and he takes it from me, and then he sits there and he really savors it. I mean, it really takes a long time to eat that one peanut because I refill his water, I refill his food, and he's still not done with that one peanut. In fact, I think he's still eating on that one peanut when I leave the house. But I love my job. I love being a papa. I never knew I was a papa to a bird, but I am. So there you go. So today in my journal, this is day 16, by the way. Let me show you if you haven't already seen my journal. I'm so happy with this. So I've been doing paintings in my journal now for more than 2 weeks. And every time I go someplace or do something, I take a video of it, or I try to anyway, or a photograph anyway, and then get something to commemorate the day. The exception would be on Christmas Eve when I did a picture of Mary and Jesus, and it's very, well, there's the back alley of our local restaurant. But anyway, so today, yesterday was ducks, and today it's Peepers. Hey, birds, 2 days in a row. What do you know? All right, let me show you how. Oh, before I do this, let me show you the video I got this from. Hold on, here it comes. A peanut for the bird. Let's get the bird's peanut. Open it up. And where's the bird? There you are. Want the peanut? You want the peanut? There you go. Oh yeah, you like that, right? All right. Well, enjoy the peanut. There it was. That was me feeding Peepers. All right, now let me show you how I painted Peepers from that video, and you'll see how I did this right now. Okay, well, I hope I get this one right. This is this is my son and daughter-in-law's bird named Peepers, and the bird is an African Gray Parrot. I don't know how old it is. Somebody asked me like just yesterday, how old is the parrot? And I'm gonna say it's at least 12 years old. I don't know. I say that because I think my son and my daughter-in-law have been married 12 years, I think. I feel like it's 12 years ago. Anyway, so my job right now in their hemisphere, in their world, my job in their world right now is to feed Peepers, because my son and my daughter-in-law and my grandson are in New York City. And so my job is to go over and feed their two pets. They have Peepers, the parrot, and they have a cat. And the cat's name is KeeKee. I had to think for a second there. Had to think. KeeKee. So I feed KeeKee and Peepers. And it is like the best job. I just love it. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long at all. And Peepers gets one peanut. My instructions are very strict. One peanut. You know, I guess when you get old, the children become the parent. And so I have strict instructions. No more than one peanut for Peepers. So I bring the one peanut to Peepers in the cage. And don't worry, I didn't violate my orders. I bring the one peanut to Peepers. And Peepers, this is what I love about it. He comes over to me very gently. I mean, very cautiously, I guess you would say. And then he lifts one paw. Do you call it a paw? 1 foot? What do you call it? Anyway, he lifts one of his feet, and he sort of like uses it as a hand, and his mouth and his hand come together, and he has that one peanut. And what I have to do in addition to feeding him the peanut is, of course, I have to put the other food. I have to do the water too. But I have to put the food in the food bowl, and then water in the water bowl. But I do the peanut first, you see. And then while I'm doing the other things, Peepers is just eating his one little peanut. And he's not like me. Like, I would have eaten that peanut, like, snap to it. It would have been gone. But I didn't. But I didn't, of course. You see, I'm trying to paint and talk at the same time. But the bird takes his time. I mean, he's the slowest peanut eater I think I've ever known. I've never known anybody to eat a peanut so slow as Peepers. But I just love it. It's like my favorite part. I do it every morning. Let's see, today will be the third day, so I'm making it seem like I've done it for a long time. But I really haven't. So today will be the third day. Tomorrow will be the fourth day, and they're coming home tomorrow. So my job is a very short-lived job. But guess what? I've known Peepers for a long time. Peepers, if you knock on the door or just knock on the table, make a knocking sound, Peepers will say, "Come in." He'll say, "Come in, come in." It's so cool. But I've known Peepers for, the whole time. They've had him. And I always love the bird. And the bird will do other words also. The bird calls my son by name. And it's very cool. But I've never actually had any interaction with the bird. Does that make sense? I've looked at him, I've talked to him, but I've never really handed him something. Like now I'm handing him a peanut. Whoops. Sorry about that. There's a happy accent right there. Some of that orange pink right there. I'll make it a little bit darker right there. I'm just trying to create a backdrop here, by the way. Oh, so that's what I'm doing today. Is I'm painting Peepers. I just didn't want to have the. It was kind of dark. What they have is a blanket over part of the cage, so I guess he's got a place where he can be in the dark, and then a place where he's not in the dark, whenever he wants to get in and out. I guess they did that because they're away. I don't know. I'll have to ask them when they get back. But anyway, so I do enjoy going over there. And as far as the cat goes, I love cats. I'm not an anti-cat guy. No, I had cats when I was younger. I don't mean when I was young. I mean when I was younger. I had cats until they died, and then I figured I was too old to get cats or any animals because I would die before them, and I didn't want that to happen. But anyway, I do feed the cat, but the cat doesn't know me, and so cats are real weird when they don't know the person, you know. I adopted a cat one time, and it was in my house for like a week before it finally decided to show itself. He got used to me, and then that cat loved me after that. Robin and I would play our musical instruments, you know. She plays the mandolin and I play the accordion, and so we would play. We'd practice sometimes in the kitchen, and this is my cat I'm talking about now. The cat I adopted. I adopted two, actually. But anyway, so the cat would come up on the kitchen table. When Robin and I would practice, we'd be sitting at the kitchen table practicing. And I'm telling you, the cat would come up on that kitchen table and just sit there. Just like enjoying the music. I loved it, you know. I have such great memories of having pets. And now I love other people's pets, like my son's, you know. My brother had a couple of dogs, and they're gone now. Robin's brother has 2 collies. I think I may have shared with you the pictures of the collies. They're beautiful dogs. And they're older too, so he used to have 3. One of them died. We're all getting old, you know. Here's a funny story about Robin's brother's dogs. So Robin's brother sort of lives on a farm. That's what I call it. I think it's 10 acres. I'm going to say 10 acres. I'm not really sure, but it's a big piece of land. But most of it is just grass, you know. He's got goats. He's got like 8 goats, I think. And I love the goats. The goats, when you feed the goats, they come out. Oh man, they love getting fed. Every animal loves getting fed. And he has a pond with catfish in it. So there's that. I'm trying to think how I do this bird now. I'm trying to wait for this to dry a little bit. Yeah, he's got catfish in the pond, and he fishes for them also when he stocks the pond, like he intentionally stocks it. So. All right, Peepers, I'm going to try to do your head now. Let's see. Let me start way up here. So, anyway, so he lives on this farm. I'm going to call it a farm. And he lives across the street from another farm, if that makes sense. And the person across the street moved, and they forgot to take one of their roosters with them. How could you forget your rooster, huh? But they did. They forgot their rooster, or something, or they left it intentionally. I don't know. I don't really know the people. But anyway, the rooster came over to Robin's brother's place. His name is Jim. Jim's place. Jim and Ramona. Ramona is his wife. So Jim and Ramona and Robin's neighbor left the rooster, and the rooster came over and decided to live there. Decided to live at Robin's brother's place. Isn't that cool? And they have 2 collies. Now you would think, right? This is not a good combination. The collies are going to say, "Ooh, that looks like something to eat," right? But that's not what happened. They became friends. The 2 collies, and the rooster all became friends. And so now the rooster sleeps with the collies. You go over there and you see the rooster just huddled up against the collies. It's very cool. Animals are so amazing. I think one of the things I like to do on YouTube more than anything really is watching videos of people's animals. I just love them. Funny animals doing cute things, animals doing funny things, animals doing unexpected things. You know. So this is going to be Peepers. Let's hope I get Peepers right. I'm mixing white and Payne's Gray, by the way. I'm not doing black and white. I'm doing white and Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray has a little hint of blue in it. And I'm purposely keeping it sort of a half-dry brush. Let me just try to get the shape here. Here we go. And Peepers has a red tail. Yep. A vibrant red tail. Vibrant red. If birds were vain, if birds cared what you thought about them, I think Peepers would be happy that I used the word vibrant. I would. If I had a vibrant red tail, I would be very happy that somebody referred to my tail as vibrant. Wouldn't you? Come on. Vibrant. When somebody refers to you as, like, what kind of compliments do you really respond to? You know, I've always thought that it was a nice thing to tell a young boy that he's handsome. Hey, you're so handsome. How'd you get to be so handsome? Or so strong? Or a little girl, how'd you get to be so pretty? They like that. The older girls, not so much. How you be so pretty? Oh, they don't like that. They get that too much, right? So now you have to say, you're so brilliant. Brilliant is a great compliment, especially if it's genuine. You know, you are brilliant. Brilliant can mean so many things. Yeah, it can be smart, it can be talented. So this is where Peepers is holding the peanut. Right there, there's the peanut. And there's the other side of Peepers' beak. Hope I get this right. It goes down like that. It's a little white area. It goes up. Don't worry, Peepers. I'm trying to capture your likeness. Capture the likeness of Peepers. Capturing the likeness of Peepers. But that sounds like a novel. A title for a novel. Capturing the likeness of Peepers. How about not Peepers? Just substitute that for a name. Like capturing the likeness of Mrs. Morgenstern. Capturing the likeness of Mrs. Morgenstern, and then write a whole book based on that. What do you think that book's about? Is that a novel of romance, you think? Let's see, did I get that right? Get there. Alright, Peepers, I think I got you. There. Alright, keep going. Keep going. And then what happens to Peepers is right here. You see, this is all gray. It's all gray. There's so much gray on this bird. But it's a beautiful luminescent gray. There's another complimentary word. He called me luminescent. He called me effervescent. When I used to do the radio show, I used to introduce one of the women who came on frequently as the effervescent Kelly Hart. That was her name at that time. I think she's changed her name since then. Who got married or got divorced or something. But the effervescent. She was effervescent. She is effervescent. She's an artist, by the way, in her own way. Everybody's so talented. God didn't leave anybody out. You know that? God gave all of us gifts. I just don't know why everybody doesn't realize that. Hey, I shouldn't talk. You know, it took me a long time to embrace the art skills that God gave me. It did. It took me a long time. I was so insistent on doing something with music. And I still love music. But I guess it just wasn't what God had in mind for me. So anyway, I'm enjoying feeding the bird. I'm enjoying feeding the cat. I'm enjoying going over there. Of course, it's better to go over there when they're home, because then I get to visit with them. I'd rather visit with them than the animals. But hey, right now it's my job. And you know what? I wrote to them yesterday. They're in New York, so I texted them. I said, I love my job. And I sent a picture of me feeding Peepers. In fact, the photo that I'm using as a reference photo here. Okay. There's the bird that goes down this way. Just get some of the big shapes in here. There's his head. There's his back. I don't want to squish him up too much. Yeah. His underside. So it's very white around his eye. I know I'm painting like acrylic. It's kind of what I'd like to do. Like I like to use gouache because you can do the different things. You can do the acrylic kind of an approach, and then you can also do the watercolor approach. So right now I'm just trying to put these blocks of color in, blocks of dark and light. I feel like this goes back further. There's the head. Yeah, I think that goes back more like that. And then back more like this. I think I was squishing up the bird too much. I'm going to have to make the bird go off the page here. Which means that brilliant red tail is probably not going to be in the picture. Not going to be in the picture. So there we go, the head, down there, around here, up there. You get a little bit of that red tail in there, I think. And you got this foot here, which comes down. This is the one that was grabbing the peanut. I'll figure this out as I get closer. I do the same exact thing I'm doing now when I do digital, by the way. I do it same thing. I kind of block it out first. Little at a time. It's kind of like half sketching, half blocking. If that makes sense. Let's see. There's that. I wonder if people are amazed when other people are fascinated by their pets. Because you're so used to your pet, right? I've never had an exotic pet. I don't know if you call Peepers an exotic pet. But for me it is. To have a bird that can talk, that's cool. You know? And he's such a beautiful, I'm going to say well-behaved bird, because I don't know. I mean, do birds ever misbehave? I don't know. He doesn't seem to be in trouble. He seemed to be so sweet. When I go there and I give him his peanut, and he just comes gently. He comes gently over to me and takes the peanut from my hand. Yeah, he's like a sweet bird. It's good to be part of it's good to be in it's good to be part of the life of your children. You know, I know some people are not, and I'm so glad that I am. I'm blessed. I'm blessed beyond blessed. Yeah, it's starting to look like a bird anyway. It's starting to look like a Peepers. We'll get it to look like Peepers. Don't worry. Don't worry, Peepers. I'll get it to look like you. Yeah, so this, I was thinking about the idea that a journal should in some way document what happened in your life, And so far in this book, it does. It's mostly, sorry, that wasn't the bird, that was my stomach. It's mostly, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. My journal here is mostly, oh, what's going on? It's mostly just where I've been, like Silver Springs and the different places I've been. I'm sorry, I can't think and do this at the same time. Plus my stomach is talking to me. I don't know why. I'm not hungry. I never eat this early. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. In fact, it's later than I normally get started with these paintings. Today's the second to the last day of the year. You always say that's something. You always say time flies. Time does fly, but I guess the time makes it seem more obvious or something. Well, this is kind of enjoyable, making this graduated gray happening here. All right, I am absolutely going to need more white and more Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray is the magical color. The magical color. I'm getting there, Peepers. Hopefully I have it looking like you by the time it's done. hope I didn't make Peepers' head too big. I think that looks about right. Yeah, it looks okay. Okay. Did you know, by the way, that the American bald eagle was only officially the United States official bird on Christmas Eve? Did you know that? That the bald eagle was never officially the official national bird of the country of the United States until Christmas Eve day. Congress passed some bill. I guess they had overlooked something, and then President Biden signed it on Christmas Eve day. Did you know that? I saw that in the news. I have a lot of requests to do eagles because of the fact that it's associated with America. Yes, a lot of people ask me to do them. I've done cartoon birds a lot too. It's, Woodstock from Snoopy, or from Peanuts, whatever. Just as I know that's a copyright thing, but my brother wanted it on his motorcycle, so I did that. And just birds in general. But this is the first time I've done one in my family. This bird is in my family. A family bird. Let's make a lot of gray. A lot of gray. A lot of blue-gray. See, there is a lot of blue in this gray bird. That's kind of why I'm using Payne's gray. It's because Payne's gray has blue in it. And then I'll come back and get the feathers after I get the blocked in colors. And I can't forget those brilliant red, that brilliant red tail. And the back color, the underpainting, is working really well as an underpainting too, because sometimes, when you have a different color that's coming through, especially a complementary color, which orange, I guess it is sort of complementary to the Payne's gray, but mostly it's just an offset color, By the way, I did experiment with this on my iPad. I did use Procreate to experiment a little bit on how to do this, because I didn't want the whole cage, because the bird is in a cage in the photograph, and I kind of didn't want the cagey look, So I figured I could paint it out, or I could work it out on my iPad and then come back to it with real paint, which is what you're seeing me do. There we go. I think I got Peepers. Almost. Not quite. Let's get a little bit more light gray down here. Yeah, lighten it up a little bit more down here. I think it'll make it a lot easier if I just block it in like this and then do the feathers. So 2025 is coming up. What's going to happen in 2025? Let's hope good things. Let's hope for peace on earth. Let's hope for an end to war. You know that John Lennon Christmas song, "War is over if you want it." I mean, think about that. It's a really true statement. If you want it, you could end it. But who is you? Like who would be the one, you know? You'd have to have somebody. And this bird's got this going on here. A little bit more white here, right on the belly, the underbelly of this beautiful, sweet bird here. Okay, now I'm going to grab some red. I'm going to do something with that tail. There's not much to do. Just to make sure it's there. Because that tail is a beautiful part of the bird. It's almost like when God was creating the African Gray Parrot. He said, "I'm going to make it gray." And then one of the angels said, you gotta add a little touch of red. And God said, "Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's add a little touch of red." What if I add some white? Will it lighten up the red, or will it make it pink? I just want to make it a little bit brighter on the bottom. There we go. And a little bit darker on the top. Like a shadow. There we go. Alright, now let me get a brush that can work as a feather maker. I need a feather maker brush. Let me start here. Where do I start? Where do I start? Looks like there's a lot of little feathers right here. Little feathers. It's almost like the ripples in the water in the picture I did yesterday. Just gotta keep working it. At first it looks phony, but then it starts to make sense. Let's hope it works out that way. Every picture, every painting has something that presents itself as a challenge. Whether it's the shape of the thing or the shadows on the thing. Everything has a challenge. And then you have to decide, how much of it do you want to be impressionistic and how much of it do you want to look photorealistic. His eye looks like it's right about there. It's not a very big eye. It has a little bit of it's starting to look like Peepers. And they got the big toenails, or talons, I guess you call them. I don't know if they're called talons on a parrot, but he uses them. He uses them to hold that peanut. Yep. He uses his God-given talents. That's a good line, God-given talents. So on day 16 of my journal, I will have recorded in art form what I've been doing while my son and his family were in New York City, feeding the bird. I could paint the cat too. It's hard to get a picture of the cat. The cat runs away as soon as he sees me. Yep. I feel like he doesn't like me, but that's me interjecting human emotion, right? To say he doesn't like me is probably not fair. He just doesn't know me. He loves my grandson, though. They send me pictures all the time of my grandson with the cat. Yeah, my grandson and that cat are like best friends. They love each other. I remember when I was a kid, and I remember when my son was a kid, the family pet, which was a dog or a cat in my case, or both, usually both. But I mean, they were like my best friends, you know. I'd wake up in the morning, go hug them. Yep. I cried so hard when they died. I didn't understand death. I still don't understand death. I'm not even going to try to figure it out. Alright, let's add some white to this. It seemed white enough before, but now it looks like it needs a little pick-me-up with the brightness of the white. You think I should bring the painting over? Do you think Peepers will appreciate the artwork? Maybe I should bring it over there. I'm getting over a cold, and I feel like I'm almost back in good form today. Still a little bit of a cough, but I feel like I'm back. I'm back, baby. I'm back. A lot of people go places. I've been watching videos of people going places. I mean far. Like they go from Florida to Alaska, from Florida to Hawaii, from Florida to England, from Florida to France. If I have a bucket list of places I want to see before I die, I think one of them is Robin's home state of Wisconsin. I'd like to see that. Okay. Okay, I'll try and get some of these grays onto this. feathers. Trying to take some of these mid-tone grays and brush them onto the feathers. Okay, let me add some more white now to that underside right there. Just kind of go. All right, now we gotta put the peanut in there. We didn't do the peanut yet. All right, let me get the peanut in there. This one right here. This will be the peanut. This will be the peanut brush. Alright, peanut. Here we go. Get that really peanutty. That peanutty flavor. Yesterday, my son posted photos that they went to the Museum of Natural History in New York. I used to go there when I was a kid, too. That was a field trip for my school. Alright, more white. It looks like more white is necessary. White comes in handy a lot in painting. There. A little bit of a reflection right there on this beak too, I just noticed. A little bit. I'm going to try to touch up his feathers a little bit, but first I want to add that stick that he's on, because he's standing on a stick right there that goes under his foot. It doesn't quite touch that thing. So let me think what color that looks like. I don't think it's brown really, but I'm going to make it like a light brown. Maybe add a little bit of red to it. Okay, this is the stick. I'm just going to brush it in here and then work it after I get it in there. The stick goes up, goes down around here, but he's holding on to it. So I'll just start with this color, even though that's probably not the right color. That's all I really need, is that little piece right there. Just something to show he's holding on to something. Okay, now let me darken it a little bit on the a little bit of darkness around his feet so we can have shadows there. Right now I feel like I need to soften up some of the lines here. So I'm just going to take some water and make them less defined. Kind of blur them a little bit, I guess. That's what I'm trying to do, I think. I don't want it to be cartoony, you know. So really all I'm doing is taking a little bit of a wet brush and just pushing it up against that paint just to blur the lines. If it was oil paint, you could do the same thing because the oil wouldn't be dry yet. It would take 7 days or so for the oil to dry. Oil paint takes a long time to dry. Right now, the only thing I feel like I want to do, I want to make his face a little bit whiter right here. Just add a little bit at a time, because what happens is it's activating the darkness underneath it. I don't want to do that. So I'll just kind of lay it on a little bit thick. Kind of like painting a wall right now. A little tiny wall. This was more of a challenge than I thought it was going to be. Although I did feel like it was a challenge when I started, so I guess maybe it is what I expected it to be. I hope I remember to edit out my coughing. I know you don't want to hear me coughing on the video. Alright, that looks good. I think what I want to do is make this area darker back here. So, take a small brush. I think I'll add some of this dark. Make it darker back there. So you can see that better. Let's get that darker. And I think darker over here too. And then darker underneath the underside of that branch. Slowly bring in that orange. And now just a little more light right there. Okay, I think I got it. I think I'm done. That took a long time. But you know what? It's a journal entry and it represents what I'm doing today, yesterday, the day before, and tomorrow. I'm feeding Peepers. 1 peanut. Alright, I'm happy with it, and I can see some like art, and I can see some illustration. So this looks illustration-y. Some of it looks artsy, I don't know. But you know what? It's a journal, and it represents what I'm doing right now. Alright, that was fun. I'll talk to you later. Bye.